I left South Shields and moved into the X Factor house in a matter of 12 weeks, doing 12 live shows. I came out at the end of it, came home at Christmas, I had a #1 single. I had a record deal, and I was kind of like the most talked about thing at that point in time, you know. It was so weird to get my head around, you know, to see yourself on a paper is so strange.
I told you once, you're breaking into separate parts.
You've taken some knocks, even in the short period of time that you've been in the public eye.
Yeah, it is quite difficult to kind of, you know, if say somebody's made redundant or somebody does this or somebody does that, it's not always kind of seen by everyone, and it's quite a private thing. Whereas in this job, it's not always very private. But everything that happened with Syco and parting ways with them, I believe it's all an experience. I've gotten absolutely no regrets about anything that I've done over the past 2 years, in the music that I chose and anything that I did. Because at that time and at that moment in time when I chose to do those things and chose to do those songs, and that was just what I wanted to do, and I enjoy taking risks. It's exciting. For a boy of 19 to get what I've got at the minute and what I'm doing at the minute, it's amazing, and I'm genuinely happy with what I'm doing. Does anyone want to hear a song?
Tell me a little bit about the preparation for Pop Star to Opera Star.
It's full on. It's massively. The training is just. I've never done anything like it before. It's like coming out of an exercise class after every vocal session, which for me, I'm not used to that because I get on stage and sing, and I don't really have to think about it. You know, I just do it. I get on stage, I have fun, and it's so different.
So what's the difference in technique then between pop singing and opera singing? Can you explain the difference?
Well, basically, I sing from my stomach in general when I'm singing my songs. But opera, it's kind of like a lot of pop singers tense the jaw because it gives you that sound, and it gives the punchy sound, and it's all kind of around here. Whereas opera is all down here, and everything around here is relaxed. So for me, I'm having to stand and sing and hold my jaw like this until I get into the kind of headspace that I can't use my jaw for it, which is it's really strange.
This is where it all started for you, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, this is kind of where it all kicked off. I worked here while I was a student. I did my first ever drama play here it was Blood Wedding, and I was the father. And I remember being in that wing, and I was the most scared I have ever been in. And it was like a sold out crowd, and it was just so nerve-wracking. And to think I went on to perform to many more people than that, it's quite crazy.
I read in the paper that you'd moved back home. When did you move away?
Well, when I moved down to London for the X Factor, when I moved into the X Factor house, and then when I won the show and I came back, I made a decision then that I would always come back home, and this South Shields and where I live was going to be my base. It's a bit of a long commute, but it's worth it to be back at home.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street life. People going on and on and on. Hey!
How often do you get home?
I get home as much as possible. You know, when I have a day off, even if it's just for a night a week. Sometimes I get 3 or 4 days here, sometimes I get a week, sometimes I get one night. You know, all my kind of foundations are here, all my family, all my friends, everybody I grew up with, and it kind of, I get all the kind of love and support from them, and then I can kind of go and do my job and enjoy it. And I feel, you know, after being up here for a couple of days, you can kind of take on the world. You know, you get that kind of, that northern strength again.